What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of 94 Feet with Coach JT. Man, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think as I continue to grow and just expand on this podcast journey. Today, this gentleman today is you may know him as the Rich Barber. However, he is the founder and the CEO of the Rich Barber, inventor of the 1-minute blade modifier, also on the money 10-second blade setter, as well as the flash comb and the Rich Barber method system. My guest today, this gentleman was born and raised in Sacramento, California. He has currently 2 barbershops in the Sacramento area and 1 in Los Angeles. Also, he is a former player at Sacramento City College, where we both have crossed paths. Chuka Torres, man. Chuka, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, JT?
Man, appreciate you being here, my guy, man. I know, again, busy man, always moving and shaking the business world. So we're going to jump right into it as we know. But just for the people that may not know Chuka the Barber or may not know the Rich Barber, from Sacramento or a little bit of background as well, man, what part of Sacramento did you grow up in and where you from?
So I was born and raised in downtown Sacramento in Alkali Flats. It was a little block about the park that had like 2 apartment complexes and a park in the middle that had a hoop court. And I grew up downtown, and then Midtown area. Definitely went to school in Sac High and Oak Park, and Oak Park definitely had an influence on me. And just that whole like Midtown, Middleland area.
Okay, Midtown down there. So, growing up, again, I've known you as the athletic dude, very talented. I mean, again, I've had a lot of athletes and different people on so far the show. But what sport was or how many sports was it growing up for you coming in that area? Did you play growing up?
It was just hoop, man. It was just hoop. That's what was in my backyard. I mean, like I said, it was the apartment complex, and then the hoop court was in the middle. And that was my first love. That was my first passion, and that's what I gave my heart to. I mean, as a youngster, it was all hoop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely on that hoop stuff. So at that age, I mean, at our younger age back then, bro, who was somebody you would say you kind of watched, emulate a little bit, try to simulate your game after during that time of your life growing up?
For the longest, it was AI.
Yeah.
That was for the longest. Yeah. I always had like, Penny Hardaway. Was one of the ones I liked. But the longest run like that I was a huge fan of, and just his style and his crossover and his game and like his killer instinct, just AI. Man.
A lot of similarities, bro, for sure. Yeah. Allen Iverson, man. So going up and down that area. Middle school, did you go to Sutter?
Yep.
You went to Sutter for sure. Okay, Sutter, and then straight to Sac High. During that Sac High time, man, was high school basketball something that you wanted to get it, you did and got into, or how did that go for you during that high school period, man, after leaving Sutter?
Yeah, no, I played. I played at Sac High. I played my freshman year, sophomore and junior year. Those years were like, they weren't complete years. Always had issues with grades.
Okay.
And then I finished it out, senior year. So, it was something I did, and I played at Sutter too.
Yeah.
So I always played Sac High. Like, the goal was always to play hoop, but it was just, the school work was just something I never did, and it wasn't like preached in my home or anything like that.
Right.
So, we just did what we wanted to do, and I didn't, it was tough to keep the grades up sophomore, junior year. So those years weren't completed.
Yeah, so you talk about the home a little bit, bro. So give me a little bit of insight about the home. And again, I'm blessed to know your brother too for years, man, and even worked together with Big Bro. So give me a little bit about the background of the home look like.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up in poverty. It was, my mom was a single mom. She had 4 kids. She had my oldest brother at 17. Me at 19, and then she had my sister and then my brother, and we never had no pops in the home or nothing like that. My dad, he's from Nigeria. He left when I was 2, so I didn't remember him. We never had conversations. We didn't speak on the phone or nothing growing up. Like he was just out of my life. Same thing with my older brother's father, and my youngest brother. His father was around because he actually lived in Sacramento. So, he would see him, we would see him. But, we had no father figure. It was just my mom taking care of us. We was on welfare, growing up. And it wasn't just a period of time. It was just always, it was just that's what it was. But from a young age, my mom always like just taught us how to be strong, just taught us how to survive. She didn't really teach us. She just put us out there to go learn ourselves, right? So, really young age, I was just out doing my own thing. We was just out in the neighborhood. We was, getting in trouble at doing shit we wasn't supposed to be doing. But we was just, young kids and trying to survive and, get it how we lived. And that was just it. But, hoop was always the thing that kept me on a path towards, that was my dream. That's what I wanted. So, my neighborhood was just like, at the time, it was just really like a lot of drug activity. Downtown, there was just a lot of homelessness, drug activity, and then the gangs in the neighborhood, that was there. Vincent Jackson, who's one of the, if you searched him on Google, Vincent Jackson was one of like a kingpin drug dealer in like Sacramento. And he was my block was like the block where they, centralized, and his mom was our neighbor. So I never knew why the kids had gold chains and all the Penny Hardaways and Charles Barkley shoes and all this shit back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I'm a kid. They were older than me. Like, they were all older than me, and I was young, but it was crazy because, everybody poor in the neighborhood, but there's this one family that got all the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so just growing up downtown, it was always action, man, in my neighborhood. On my block was like, it was a active block. There was just always action, always something to do. We was always hooping. On the weekends, there was this drug rehabilitation center right across the street. So they would get to come out, and it'd just be everybody be hooping right there on the at the court. Yeah, so it was just it was always something to do, man. And growing up, in poverty, we never had things, so everything we did was through our creativity and our own imagination. So I feel like that really developed strongly during those times. From
definitely
that faculty. Yeah.
Super dope. So we talked about that family aspect and being with mom, her putting it out there. Just knowing single parent home. Mama's boy, man. How was your relationship with your moms, bro? How was that growing up with you and your moms?
It was tough love in my house. So like, we never showed love and affection. Like, my mom probably, up until like as we matured and I moved out, and as of recently, we tell each other we love each other and shit like that. But growing up, like, my mom never, I love you was never said in the home. It was probably maybe when I was going away for a 2-day, 3-day basketball tournament, she might say it, or we might say it. But it was awkward to show affection or love in my home because it was just all about tough love. And so that definitely, wasn't there. My mom was, she never went to my basketball games, really. She probably went to a couple. She just, it wasn't that she didn't care for the most part. It just wasn't, we wasn't that type of family, It wasn't like, and I guess we also didn't know how to be a family because my mom never had it, and then we never had it. And so I remember I used to, when I started, like, I had my girlfriends, or I went to their house and how they were a family, and it was like awkward to me how everybody just kind of, because it was never like that for us. So yeah, but my mom was just always just, straight up real, and just was like telling us like, y'all gotta learn how to survive on your own. Right. That's all she, and I can remember her saying that since I was like 5. Don't throw me on the bus at 5 years old by myself, the city bus, and I'm thinking it's gonna pull up in front of the school and drop me off like the school bus do.
You had to walk a little bit. You had to walk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So yeah, it was just, we never owned a car. We never owned a car. My mom could never afford a car, so we never had a car. We was always walking, catching a bus. It was always cold out. During winter time it was cold, and for me, I never understood why. I never liked it. I never liked the situation that we were in. I never liked being poor. I always fucking hated it. I can remember since I was conscious of it, I fucking hated it. And I always wanted to have. Yeah. I always wanted to have. Because all the doors are shut on you damn near when you're poor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy, bro. Again, bro, this is that's something again that I can see it again now, man. That driving force behind behind you, bro. High school, you get through your senior year of high school, you make it through there. Now again, as we know now, you know now, man. Back when we was at it, back, it wasn't as shine, it wasn't as hype as much. It was grit, grind, get after it. You get ready to graduate, man. What's on your mind at that point? Knowing again, you just talked about it, bro. I don't like not having stuff or not being poor, but then also high school and basketball. What was the decision, or what role did you path you choose after that senior year of high school?
Man, I remember the day of graduation. I wasn't even going to go to my graduation. I just wanted out of school. That's all the fuck I wanted, you know. And I remember the day of our graduation. I didn't even have a graduation. I didn't even have the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, while everybody was excited about, like, you know, all the events that go around during, you know, graduation, the senior ball. I didn't go to my senior ball, you know, but to me it was like, let me get out the life, let me get away from this fucking restriction and this I have to go to school, do this so I can get you know, into the game, get into life, you know, and start, like, you know, doing something. So I just wanted out, but, you know, when I was at home, I wasn't going to go. My partners called me. They was like, come on, man, this is our graduation. So I got up. I wore my brother's gown. And, you know, he's 6'6", right? So that shit was hella big. I didn't even have a hat, you know what I mean? I didn't have a hat. You know, and my mom, she didn't go to my graduation. And like I said, like, so for me, it's like, you know, everybody got their family and their parents, you know, you know, and I'm just there, right? I think my sister might have showed up. Yeah, I think my sister showed up. But yeah, so I went, graduated, and from there, you know, I wanted to pursue my dream still, you know, hoop. So signed up to Sac City. I redshirted, and it was like, you know, play a couple years here and then try to get to a 4-year college. So that's what I was thinking. But, you know, it wasn't really realistic for me. The fact that, like, I literally went through the first 12 years of grade school, like, not participate. Right. You know, I got shit done. You know, I knew how to get my work done and pass to a certain extent, but I was never committed to school. I was committed to hoop, so that's why I went to school. Right. And that's why I went to Sac City for hoop, but it wasn't for, like, education. Yeah. You know,
different purposes. So, and during Sac City, I believe your first year redshirting was 2001. Was it 01?
Graduated 02.
You graduated 02, okay, yeah. So 02, yeah. So at the end of my sophomore year there, you was getting over there during that little stint. So how did you, man? Again, since you told me what your motivation was, how did you kind of just stick it out, or how long did you stick it out with the hoop in the school, trying to make it work?
Well, I stuck it out for, like, I guess I was sticking it out because, you know, I redshirted the first year, and I remember, you know, coach was like, you know, redshirt, get those classes done and get ahead, you know, with the classes and shit. But that didn't really happen. But you know, I moved with my mom kicked me out after that, and then I was living with my partner, renting a room at his mom's place, and yeah, you know, we would always have jobs. Somebody in the crew, somebody had to connect to a job always, and so we get like a little job, and you know, and then go to school, go to basketball practice, and go to class, you know, and have your little job or your little hustle, whatever you were doing, and you know, that's how, you know, I would get by. We got the financial aid, you know, that was a little something to help get by, but yeah, went through that first year and played that following year, and yeah, you know, it was cool. The second year was supposed to be my year, like a big year for me. But it didn't happen that way. But yeah, school, like, with no support and foundation, it's hard to sustain. Right. You know, it's hard to survive. And when you giving your time to school, basketball, you know, going to class, working, but it's not enough, or you maybe can't work no more because you have to, you know, give more time to school and hoop. So, yeah, you know, with no support, it's just, you know, it's really tough.
Yeah, definitely paying bills and trying to be a young man at that age when we still young men is definitely two different, you know what I mean? So I agree with you. I feel you on that, man. So after Sac City, bro, when do you start touching in the water about this business of haircut, a barber in general? Because again, I'm not sure when the time frame is, but when does that light start to go off, or when do you figure out, okay, I got to start my own income or bring in some income some kind of way? And how do you choose
Yeah.
barber?
Well, I always I grew up cutting my own hair
Okay.
and cutting people hair in my neighborhood, but not as something I really was pushing to do, because I would rather be hooping and practicing, working on my game. So I started cutting my own hair around 10 years old, because like I said, we grew up in poverty, we couldn't afford haircuts, so started cutting my own shit. And so it was something I always did, and even at Sac City, I would cut some of the teammates here and there, and it was just, I had it in my back pocket, but it was really for me, you know what I mean? But I would make money. I would charge I think I was charging like $7 and stuff, during college, and cutting and making a little extra money, so that was cool. But I didn't really take it serious until after Sac City. Well, because I had went to jail, and that ended my college and hoop career. So when I got out, I'm an ex-felon, and then now it's no one would hire me. Not like I wanted the job or I was looking for a career for someone to hire me, but you still need to make some money temporarily, right? So, even when I got out, I was still doing some stupid shit at the time, trying to, get by, make some money. But eventually, I end up, going to barber college, because I was married at the time. I got married at 22, and my wife had got pregnant. My wife at the time got pregnant, and so my father-in-law had actually, I was working for him because I couldn't get no job nowhere. So that whole summer, I was roofing houses. No, we was painting houses, and I never liked the work. I can't work a job that I don't enjoy. I can't do. I just never was that type of person. But I had to do it at the time. But worked that whole summer, hated it. But when the work got slow during when the season changed, I had found a barber college, and it was like a $500 down payment to start, and he actually gave me that $500 to start barber college. So then when I started barber college, of course, I was all in, because I already started kind of seeing the vision for myself. I started seeing myself in that, on that career path as a barber. I started, looking at videos, looking into the game more, trying to get better. And I fell in love with it, and it was I was like, damn, I'm gonna make this happen. And I saw the freedom and flexibility and the opportunity that I could create for myself in this industry. So, I hit it rolling, man. I got in and got it cracking. In barber college, we had macro cracking at
macro barber college, man.
Yeah.
Macro barber college, that's what's up. So you get in there again. Shout out to the father-in-law for the down payment, because without that, who knows where you would have been, right?
Free haircuts to this day.
You gotta pay it back, bro. You gotta pay it back. So you get through barber college. Let's talk a little bit about any struggles you may have had during that time. Though, anything really come about where you maybe almost quit, or you automatically knew, I'm sticking this out? You know what I mean? Give me some hard times maybe you might have faced during that time.
I never. I don't recall wanting to quit. I mean, I would work graveyard and then come home and have to go straight to barber college. Maybe sleep an hour or something and go straight to barber college. It was hard, man. It was hella hard. I would cut after hours. I would cut hair at home. So I would have some clients come so I can make some money. There were times I had my daughter at barber college with me as a baby. My mom used to we had the one car, so I would get dropped off, or someone would get dropped off drop off my wife at work, and then the baby at my mom's, and then school. So it was nonstop. And then we'll go to barber college and just fucking labor all day, because we never cracked the books there. We never cracked the books and did any theory or nothing. And they were just having us labor in that motherfucker. So it was hella hard, man. it was tough. And then also just, once I got my license, I thought I made it and I arrived. And then you get in and you starting from scratch still, and you got to build. The money don't come in right away. I was thinking it was, So there was times when I thought about, for us, every time, growing up, the way we grew up, every time nigga think about switching up, it'd be like this, legal shit.
Yeah, right? Hey, that's some fast money. Try to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You be like, man, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like.
So what kept you saying that though? So what kept you from crossing that point? What kind of, because you probably thought tiptoed that line, but what made anything kept you over?
Man, it's often it's boring. Drug. Everybody trying to sell drugs. It's just like it's just not enough excitement. But you have like you have this fantasy of like, man, there's getting money and all this shit. But I also too, man, I love my freedom. You know what I mean? And once I really I read that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. When I read that book, man, my whole world got bigger, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, there's so many other ways. And it's like I always knew I had the creativity to create. I always knew I would invent something. I don't know why, but I just always knew, that I was like, I'm gonna invent something one day. So it was and like I had got in church for a little bit, for like 3 years, which was good. I got in church and got married, and even though I don't do it like that anymore, it got me out of that mindset and got me out of that destructive mentality, or even like giving that route of consideration. So that was huge for me.
Getting a foundation, bro, is that mind for sure.
You got to have purpose, and I feel like, just like you said, when you leave high school, and if there's any transition period that you're going through, like, you got to find purpose as soon as possible, because when you don't, then that's when you can go the wrong direction, because you're kind of open to whatever, right? So then influences or past conditioning, or just survival instincts kick in. But often those survival instincts are just automatic, and they're not really rational or the best, well thought out. They're not really the best thing, especially living in a society where there's consequences for doing certain shit. Real consequences. So yeah, like those transition periods, I was just like, man, blessed to just find purpose, right. And actually like fall in love with the purpose. That's dope. And give it my all.
Man, that's dope to find that vision, find that key. So you talk about getting out and still not being it, like the money ain't just coming in. Yeah. What was your first shop or where was you at? Where'd you land at out of Barber College, man? Besides the house situation or the clients come to your house, what shop or whatever you land in first?
So I went to work at a shop called Division 1 in Elk Grove, and the reason I went there was one of my good and longtime friends who actually would always tell me to go to Barber College. He actually used to always tell me about it. I'm like, man, I'm not going to Barber College. I ain't gonna get rich going to Barber College. Like, I'm open, like, I'm trying to get rich, right? So, but he used to, he would go get cut at barber shops. I never did. Like I said, I never went to shops like that. But he would always say, like, the barbers pull out, hella, cash.
And a lot of money, bro.
Yeah. So, I get my license, and I think I'm gonna get it popping, and I'm there, and it wasn't happening. And you watching, the established barbers, get booked all day, and you sitting there, and they walking like, you like, hey, I'm available. Like you see me, they don't see you, because they know what they want, right? But that, I didn't take that as like anything, like I didn't envy or nothing or get jealous. I was like inspired. I was like, I want that. I want to be that good to a motherfucker, like, even if this nigga, he's booked up to next week, and they still won't get cut by none of us. They like, I'll wait till next week then to get you. I mean, so that just really inspired me. So even though, things were slow for me at the time, and the money wasn't there, I could see someone that already did it, that had what I wanted. So that was really good to actually see that and know that, okay, that's what I'm going after.
That's super dope. You get that opportunity there. again, knowing your creative mindset, what are you thinking then? Like, what's next? Once you see that coming in, once you start to get established a little bit, bro, how do you begin to elevate your thinking or mindset? Go ahead.
I started starting businesses. I started all kind of. I tried hella
Okay.
businesses. I tried doing. I forget how many things I tried,
Yeah.
and that didn't work. My daughter's mom, she reminds me all the time. She'd be like, "You remember when you?" So I'd be like, "Fuck, like, you did." Like, but the first successful business I had, where I had people working for me, so I was cutting hair in the shop, and I was making money through my business. Was a transportation company.
Okay.
And I had like some of my partners working for me, and there was drivers and stuff. So it would bring like a few extra thousand a month, cash flow, which was cool,
Yep.
And but I always saw barbering as a foundation that I could build wealth on, that I could get rich with. Like if I got this foundation, even if I bet, because I bet on myself, and I'll put it all on myself, right? And often I've lost it all, you know what I mean? But I could go to work the next day and make some money.
Yeah.
Get paid same day, make some money.
Right.
And then stack up again and try it again. So I was always trying business ventures. I was always trying shit. And most of them didn't work. A lot of them I didn't have any experience in that field. And then I was like, eventually I was like, why am I doing all these businesses outside of what I do every day? And I was like, so when I started the Rich Barber, I was like, I'm going to give this. Well, I had that, like, the Rich Barber first was just a mindset for me. It was a concept of self, because I'm studying certain things and I'm looking back at my life, and I'm not a lukewarm person. I'm either hot or cold. Like I'm an extremist, and sometimes that got me into trouble, but when I directed constructively, it brought me a lot of benefit. So when it kind of clicked for me, I realized that, all my conditions and circumstances in life did have to do, they were connected to, the concept I had of myself, the mindsets I had, the identity I took upon, and I was like, whoa, if I'm a barber, and I want to be rich, then I need to have that concept of self. I got to see myself rich before it's going to actually happen.
Right.
Because my conditions and circumstances are just a result, the effect of my thinking, of my beliefs, of what I believe is true. So, and growing up in such poverty, I always was concerned. I always, criticism was tough for me, because being poor, you just criticize all the time, you don't have or whatever. So what people thought was always something that I struggled with, and I was like, this is another way to even go against that, right? Because I don't have anything that resembles rich material success, right? But I had to make it true for myself. I had to have that concept for myself, and I put it out there, to really, call the unseen, and bring it to life. Make the unseen become seen, and for myself. And that was just my belief. That was my experience in life, was that, the beliefs I had, the concepts of self, those things manifested in my life. And if I wanted to become the Rich Barber, I had to move into that space and that state now, and fully believe it. And if that came with calling my brand that and presenting that out there to the world, and not having no material validation for the time being, and being criticized for that, like no one knew what the fuck a Rich Barber was, because barbers wasn't even making money like that back then.
Right.
Then that's what I had to do. And I remember thinking like, damn, should I, call my brand this, and that's why I put company at the end, because, I wanted people to know that was my concept of self, and this is what I was going after. But I also wanted to know people to know that I had a company and a business and products they could buy, right? So yeah, I was like, man, this is the one opportunity. I feel like in life, sometimes you only get one opportunity to write your story a certain way, because you can't rewind time.
Right.
I'm successful now, and so and if I did it now, then I already, I don't have that prophecy for myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? To prophesy my own shit and walk into it and make that shit happen in front of everybody when everybody knew what the name was and what I was going after.
Yep. That's super dope. So you talk about, before we get too much to your book though, bro, where are the information, man? Again, because think about, say, we've all think about how we used to talk, communicate years ago. Now, even speaking to you, when you present to people, bro, when I'm hearing you leaving your messages, it's such a different Chuka that I know from what we know years ago, right? But where did you gather information at, or who kind of helped feed into that? To, again, you're not to get the knowledge into a book, you had to get it from somewhere, or what sources was you using, man, to elevate your overall thinking and mind at that point, man?
So I think the biggest thing for me was getting experience and then having knowledge. Then when I got knowledge, I was like, oh, that's my experience, right? But without the experience, you get knowledge and it doesn't give it that, it doesn't solidify it without the experience, behind it, because you just think it's knowledge. Oh, I know something. But when but when I started reading, I studied Napoleon Hill for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the only shit I studied, and one thing I realized, I remember like trying to learn all these different things, and all these motherfuckers would teach things their way. And there's just so much information out there. And I remember like really like seeing and realizing the power behind Napoleon Hill's work, and it connected to my experience. So I was like, I believe it is true to me, because I could, I didn't have success, but as far as like the way the mind worked, and the imagination and shit, like I could connect it to my experience. So studied Napoleon Hill like crazy. I studied a lot of New Thought movement at the time too. So I was getting a lot of like information, not a lot of knowledge, just falling in love with just learning about myself and the power of thought, and that's why, like in the section, I talk about the power of an idea and like these ideas and concepts we have of self, and these ideas and concepts we have of the world. So for me, it was an experience. So I learned a lot from Napoleon Hill. I've studied, most of my success came from just, connection there?
You good?
Yeah. A lot of my success came from learning just the power of the mind, thought, and imagination. Like I said, like I really invented my way to success when it comes to like monetary wise. Like the majority of it came from my inventions, Right. And then also like Chris Johnson, who has been like someone that always just believed in me. He used to coach me at the bar, at the Boys and Girls Club, the basketball team there we had. And, Chris was always ahead of the game, like, and it was someone I looked up to. And, we would have conversations. And I remember him just saying, like, man, like, I believe you're going to be rich one day. And I was like, coming from him, that meant something, Yeah. And so now, like, I really invest in my knowledge. I invest in my team. I invest in my relationships. It's just a lot of investing. Like, and now I try not to just spend my time, energy, and money in a way. I try to like invest it, and not just saying like invest in a stock. I mean, like, making sure that I get some type of, multiplying return, right. Or some type of, benefits. So, and that's been huge for me. Cool. But yeah, business stuff. What else?
Let me ask you this real quick. Did you ever think, I'm probably sure I know the answer, would you end up reading Napoleon as an older age in your life? How you think
Napoleon Hill?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Did you ever think in your lifetime, I'm gonna be reading this about this dude?
Like, nah, because I didn't read nothing growing up, bro.
Right.
I didn't read nothing. Like, I think I read one book in my first, 12 years. I didn't read, bro. Yep. I didn't read, so I never thought I'd be reading anybody, so right. I never thought that. Never thought that. Like, reading was boring to me, but the reason why it was boring was they was giving me the shit to read. I didn't select my shit. Right. When I was able to select my shit, then they started being it. I started enjoying it. But I always, I read a lot of it was more about the result I want to get in the real world.
Right.
To, you know, what can I read to help me get a certain result?
Yep, that's what's up. So let's get into this rich barber method, man. What is it though? Because I mean, again, for some that may know, may not know, just kind of give me a little background. Because if not, we're gonna make them purchase the book, of course, in the download.
Yeah.
They gotta go download the book and go get it. But just give me a little bit about what the rich barber method actually is.
Well, the rich barber method is a model I created, and I created a model. It was, of course, I'm in the barber industry, so it was created specifically for barbers, but in term.
Everybody.
Like the terms I use for barbers, but it applies to everybody because it's a model on how to attract clients, keep them, and charge more. And what I did was I created a model, and I broke up barbering, or whatever you do, you can break it up into 3 simple domains. And that way you know what each domain is for and how it contributes to the whole. And then you see the power behind conquering and mastering each domain and doing it consistently, simultaneously. So in each domain, I created mindsets, affirmations to adopt the mindsets, and tools to help you conquer that specific domain. So you can think of the Rich Barber method as just like a map, a roadmap on what you need to do, the mindsets you need to cultivate, the person you need to become, and the actions you need to take in order to grow as an individual, and ultimately, have control over your career, your destiny, in terms of attracting clients, keeping clients, and being able to charge more and continue to scale your prices until you get the lifestyle that you've always wanted. Definitely. From whatever you're doing.
Definitely dope. Like you said, it's for all people in any business or any walks of life. You can relate to it, and it help again improve your business and your brand. And I think, man, I'm gonna do real quick though, bro.
To put it another way, like it's a model to build a business around you, yourself. Yeah.
Right. So I got a couple quotes I'm gonna read out of the book. I want you just to, because again, I highlighted all through this book, man. I tabbed mine up, bro. I'm gonna read a couple quotes, and I'm gonna have you give me a response to what these quotes mean to you, because you put me here for a reason. So I'm gonna read a couple quotes though. Success isn't overnight. It's when every day you get a little better than the day before. It all adds up, by DeRock Johnson.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people think success is a result, like a cause and effect result. Like, I do this, I get it. No, it's an emergent, right? It's an emergent property, and it's when all these things eventually come together in such a way that the emergent is success. So knowing that it's going to be a process, knowing that it's going to take time, knowing that as long as you just keep moving, you got purpose, and you move towards that purpose every day, little by little, that eventually all the pieces will start to come together, and that emergent will be success. So, and just want to give people persistence, how important persistence is in achieving success.
Dope. So this next one, I will not lose, for even in defeat, there's a value, lesson learned, so it evens up for me.
Yeah, that's hope, man. I've learned in life, in the game of success, often it's just how you looking at the shit. It's just your perspective or the angle you're looking at it. But you can always turn shit in a way and look at it in a way to where it's not necessarily damaging or a loss, but it's a opportunity, or there's some benefit in it. And Napoleon Hill, would always say, every temporary failure leads you with an equivalent benefit. But often people don't know how to find it or look for it. So that's what that means. So change your perspective sometimes. And sometimes you got to look at shit a different way in order to extract the benefit and the value, in order to keep your spirit, strong, to keep going.
Dope. This last one, you may know this guy. The barber life is so much better when you're in demand, making money and winning. Trust me. Chuka Torres.
It is, bro. And it's something you got to experience, because when you don't have no demand for your services, it fucks with your self-esteem. It fucks with you, man. You have this uh, skill, talent you want to express, but there's no way to express it. Why? Because you need someone to be able to express it on. You need a client. And so, but when you have this demand, like this overflowing demand, like you turn the water, you turn it on, turn it up, like you in control. You in control. And then when you have that demand, I'm only one person. So therefore, I'm not like my 1 minute blade modifier. We can produce thousands of those, ship them all over the world at the same time. But no, like I'm one person. So when that demand is there, then my value goes up, right? When I got overflowing demand, my value goes up. So in return, I make more money. And then therefore you put those combinations together with the right mindsets, right attitudes, the right environment, and you got that demand and you making money, you win it. And it's just a really fun life. Like it's a really fun life to, be winning and making money like in your passion. And I think often people as artists, we sometimes downplay the money, as if, oh, this is my passion. It's not so much about the money. Well, profit is benefit, right? And we don't take action unless we see benefit or profit, right? I mean, I'm not going to go to why go to the gym and pain myself and working out, right? Because I want the result. Mm-hmm. I want the benefit. I want to profit off it, like in my strength. So same thing with our labor. It's still labor, but when you can love your labor, then you're blessed. Yeah. And when you can make money, real good money off your labor, then you win it. Yeah. Like that's the life. Real. You know what I mean?
That's
you
real.
Win it.
That's what a lot of people yearn for that, and they don't get to it to do two things. So that's definitely dope.
Often I said that in the book. Often people don't get both.
Right.
And the money, the passion call you automatically. Mm-hmm. When you find your passion, and it calls you automatically. Okay, that's done. And then what's hard for people to figure out is the money. Because that's a different game, and most people don't understand that game, or they don't have the confidence around that game. So it's a two-part, it's two parts. But when you can get both of them and get them working together, it's dope.
So
it's dope.
Money or getting both, right? Getting the opportunity, bro, to get your first shop in your home city. How difficult was that? I'm gonna start with that part. How difficult was to get that thing open and rocking and location, all that, man?
Man, that wasn't difficult.
Really?
The opportunity came to me, and I just jumped on it, man. Like, and I was in the shop at the time, so I was able to bring in barbers that, no matter what level they were at, and I was able to teach them, give them the game, and get it popping. So that was that wasn't hard at all because the opportunity just came and I was ready for it. It was different. I never wanted to own a shop, because I don't like managing people, but yeah, no, that the opportunity just came, man, and I jumped on it and tried it and it worked.
And it blew up from there. So let's go as far as expansion, because then you go from NorCal.
Yeah, that's a little harder.
You go into the pits. You go down to SoCal. I mean, what makes that move come about? Besides, I have an idea, but let me know how that come about, because that's a land opportunity I know for the this business.
So. I always wanted to be, bro. I always wanted to be there. I always wanted to be in a big city, bro, and make it happen in a big city. Ever since I could, since I was young, bro, I just was fascinated with like cities like New York City and just the action and the fucking opportunity and the fucking gigantic city skyscrapers. Like I'm stimulated by that shit. And like I said, like even though like I'm from Sacramento and it's a lot slower than LA, but my neighborhood was just active, right? We always, so I like action, and I always wanted to be in LA. Tupac sold me LA real well, like, him talking about LA and shit. And I always just wanted to be in LA. So, big city. So when the opportunity came to move out there, and when I say opportunity was because, my daughter's out here and her mom's out here, but when they were willing to move, they brought it up. I was like, let's go. Like instantly was like, let's go. Dope. And moved out there, and I love it, bro. Like everything goes through LA. Everything comes through there. I'm stimulated by the city, the landscape, the geography, the weather, like
Yeah.
just like it's stimulating for me. So it's definitely the place for me. And I knew when we went out there, though, going out there, I just knew we was gonna have to come with it. I opened up a shop. I'm not from there, so. But man, the city love us, bro. We get a lot of love, a lot of respect, and we just getting started. We opened up and the pandemic hit, so we ain't even really got to do it the way we gonna do it.
Yeah. So where's the shop located at actually in LA?
It's on Beverly Boulevard, Beverly and Sweetser.
I mean, got
So
prime time location.
Yeah, it's like 4 blocks from the Beverly Center. Beverly Center right up there. We right here. Dope location, man. This is something special.
You did, yeah, it definitely is, man. Yeah. Again, congratulations. So right now with the Rich Barber, man, I mean, I know you always cooking something up. If you got something you want to share, what's up next, man? Let me know what's popping next. What's to come? What's to be on the lookout for?
Man, I'm really excited. Like we had a lot of setbacks with this project of our hair, like consumable goods products, shampoo, conditioner, beard oil. A lot of setbacks, but now we've launched it, and I'm really excited about this because, a lot of the products, although consumers buy them, like the products I invented and stuff like that, it was kind of more like an experience for the most part, when you're not a barber, the experience that you can get, the only way you can experience the Rich Barber was kind of like going to the shop. Like going to the locations. But I feel like now that we're moving into like shampoo, conditioner, beard oil, like whether you're a barber or not, you can take home that experience with you now. You know what I mean? And so, like you said, like even with the book, like when I started, the more I talk about the mindset, what the Rich Barber represents, what it actually is, the power of the idea and all that, like people connected with it from all different industries, But now I got a way they can actually like, even connect with us more with actual like hair, the products, the shampoo, the conditioner, the beard oil. So that's what we've been cooking up, man. Really excited about that. And mostly I just been really rebuilding my team. So got a solid team, and we definitely gonna be turning shit up real soon.
That's what's up, bro. Man, again, so before we get out of here though, just somebody who's been through some trials, tribulations, successes, failures, bro, responsibilities. What kind of, just let's talk about to the barbers personally though. What kind of just tips off top that you want to, jewels you can drop on them from if they're just getting started or been in the game for a while? What gems outside of me letting them know purchase this book, because it's all written, that you can share with them right now? Anything you can share with them right now, throw it to them right now.
I think the most important thing is to find a like proven model. Like I said, the method or whatever, like find something that you can stick with. There's so much information and so much like distractions out there. Like find something that you believe in, that's a model that's been proven, and work that shit. Stick with it. Just like I did with Napoleon Hill's work. And, there was so much other shit, but I needed a system, a model that I could just work, right? That I could master. And if you can master one thing, it'll take you a long way. So I would say just find that, whatever that is, find a system, a model that you can stick with, that's proven, that you believe in, and then just don't ever give up. Like just stay persistent. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be, it's all part of the game. But like I said, sometimes you got to invert, flip it on its head, look at it a different way. Sometimes you got to just change your perspective. But, if I would have quit, at any time, I wouldn't be here today. You know what I mean? And so because I've had that experience multiple times, I know just don't quit, nigga. That's it. At the end of the day, wake up, go after the same shit you was going after the day before. And I've had many ups and downs, and I tell people all the time, the reason I kept growing and my business kept growing and I kept having more success, because no matter what happens in my life, I wake up every day on the same shit, same purpose. Remember, I gave myself 5 years to actually, stick with the one thing, and I wake up on the same shit every day. You know what I mean? I know what I'm going after. So no matter what happens, I know what I'm waking up and going after the next day.
Wake up and go get it, bro. Look, man, I appreciate you. I know you got to get back to the grind, or you got something else cooking, bro. So I appreciate you taking time out your day, man. And continue success. And I know when I get down to LA, I'm definitely tapping in physically to the shop again and just checking it out, man. Because I know the experience and reading the reviews and seeing the videos, it's none but love in there for you, man. So you keep doing what you're doing, baby, holding it down.
Appreciate you,
Appreciate you, man. Take it easy, bro.
Yeah,
all right, late.